Hey there guys, it's Mythic Run. We're back. We're back today checking out Sanguine Depth 17 for a Patreon here. Fuka Deconstructs. He goes by Manhwel. It's a much better name than Fuka Deconstructs. Probably one of the worst names. I mean, honestly, one of the worst names I've ever seen. But we're not going to let that stop us. We're here to take a look at the key, not the name. But he's playing the Blood Death Knight, which is a great spec. Now, this is recorded before 9:05, so something to keep in mind. But the funny part about this is maybe this is from a raid or progression or something like this, but he's got this chest piece on, and it's not super strain. It is instead vampiric blood grants you leech and all this other stuff. So they just buffed this with 9:05. I'd be interested to hear, have you been using this in keys, or are you just using this for some other reason? I don't know. I definitely wish that there was a way to see if this person had changed their gear since then. Oh yeah, but it is confirmed that this person was using super strain in this key. We saw this. We can see this in the chat or in on the bars. So that's good. So it's fortified 17. I mean, this is probably the closest I've ever recorded to something my own progression level. Usually it's like 10 levels lower or something. So I'll try my best. But yeah, super strain. We'll see how that works out for him. Again, before the patch. Now there's a much more slam dunk legendary, I feel like, but we'll see how it goes. So already, unfortunately, I'll apologize for the quality of the footage. I don't know what resolution this was recorded at, but it's a little squirrely. Can't really make out much on the screen, but I think we'll be all right. So very minimalist UI. UI is very feels very stock. Whoa, what the hell was that? Enter combat. Do you need that? What is that, a weak core? What the hell is that? That is distracting, I will say the least. It looks like you have some insane mouse thing as well. That's interesting. Very, I feel like it's pretty aggressive. But if it's working for you, that's fine. Obviously, you're doing 17, so you probably don't need my UI advice. But I'm surprised to see somebody playing with something that vibrant on the mouse there, let's say that. But anyway, so you can't actually see the top of the screen, which is unfortunate. And that is because it was cut off by the recording. But we will try to figure it out the best we can. So the health bars, I don't know what add-on this is, but it's automatically displaying CDs next to it. I wonder if this is that shadowed unit frames. I used to use this back in like TBC, but I hear a lot of people talking about it still. So good rotation of CDs there, I will say that. Let's go through that first pack. This is a pack, probably one of the hardest packs in the dungeon. But everything's up, so you should be able to crush it. So he opens with the Venther ability, then he uses Vamp Blood, and that's ticking for 8 seconds. You can see that. Hold on a second. Let's make sure the playback is proper here. Yeah. I was watching golf footage there. So. But anyway, so yeah, then he goes Icebound, and then he goes Dancing Rune Weapon. So yeah, that's good. That I'll tell you, you're better at that than I am. I always end up using them all. But if you are going to use anything, you probably want to open with Rune Weapon. I'm not exactly sure what stuff you're using past that. Let's see if we could figure it out real quick. In terms of, I don't know if it shows it. Yeah, you have Meat Shield, so definitely want to open with Rune Weapon. Meat Shield's value is much higher. You want to open with that for sure. I don't know anything about the Venther ability, like how valuable that is, honestly. But I would say it's probably fine to use both of them at once because even though one gives dodge, one gives parry, I don't think there's some kind of interaction with that. I'm not exactly sure how, but it's probably not that big of a deal. I don't know for sure, though. That's one thing I have no experience in. So great work with the echoing thrusts. I will say that's obviously a huge thing the tank role should do. Keep these out of the way of others. Good work soaking that. Probably a good idea because you got two kind of blocking the area, so you can't really have your melee standing there. We also have a Unholy DK and a Warrior, so it might be a little complicated to figure out. I don't know exactly what might arise, but there might become a situation where I can't tell if it's him doing it or the Unholy DK doing it, but not a great comp, really. Famously, I'm not a big fan of Warriors, but Unholy DK, when you have a Blood DK, I'm not a big fan of that either. You don't need this many DKs, I feel like. They don't really... 1 AMZ is all you need. Sometimes 2 is okay, but a little overkill. Definitely grab something that's a little bit more trash oriented, I guess. Well, anyway, so we're gonna do a very similar route to what I've done. It looks like, although I'm not exactly sure what we execute here. So this is Fortified a week. Like I said, it's recorded a couple. It's like 2 weeks ago. Whatever that leave combat, join combat thing is. Not a big fan of this. So we have this this route playing out here. I don't know, like, I know it's not popular to say this, but like, do you really feel like you need fortify? Do you really see? Wow, that was pretty dangerous. What the hell? Do you really feel like you need pride for this first boss on fortified? I don't know. I guess we'll see what the rest of the route looks like, but for me, I'd much rather have it for the pack preceding the boss, and then you would have it for a little bit into the boss too. Usually that pack dies usually well under a minute, depending on the route or depending on the damage. Okay, so we open probably do we have, see, the problem is I can't actually tell if rune tap has been used. Let's see if we could see you use it. Not the best quality and everything, so doesn't look like it's been used now. So yeah, probably want to just get used to using rune tap, especially as Venthyr. I don't really see why you wouldn't. For me as Night Fae, it's not great because it's a rune that, you know, I theoretically it should be back up before I need it, but as Night Fae, I don't think it is, honestly. I don't know. If you use it like well before the pull, but if you just use it like the second you start, it usually cycle through them so fast that it doesn't end up happening. But yeah, so taking a lot of damage here. Not much really going on. I mean, you know, I'm sure by now your ideas of legendaries have changed, but I don't know. To me, like super strain out fortified a week, it's just hard to believe it's a great option. It's definitely increasing the DPS, but the defensive element of it is not great. And this monk, oh my god, I didn't realize we got a Mistweaver, of course. So okay, so that's a curious choice, and I guess as you know, as Venthyr, it's less important, but to me, I could not really. I do not want to pull with dancing with Death and Decay like that. What I like to do is I like to drop Death and Decay before the pack, and then body pull the pack into it. And when you pull like that, what you're doing is you're starting any mechanical timers a second or two early before anybody's there to interact with them. So it's a minor thing, but I think if you're having trouble with trash at all, not just you, but the group too, I don't think you want to pull them like that. You know, you want to give everybody a chance to get up there first and foremost, but more than that, you want to engage them on your terms. So you don't want to aggro them like that so early. I don't think so anyway. I don't know. For me, that's how I've always done it. Just drop it a yard in front of them and then have them walk into it. So yeah, we got the pride coming up for the boss. A lot of stuff going on the UI on the left there. So I noticed also the interrupt tracker is tracking 2 of your CDs. Is that normal, or hopefully we'll figure it out as we go, but this is probably like some kind of weak aura package, I'd imagine, because it looks quite not custom, let's put it that way. That's good if it works out for you. See, the reason I never used the custom ones was it's just like they're not made by me, you know what I mean? Like I'd end up customizing it anyway. So, and I'll tell you what, that enter combat, leave combat thing. Do we feel like that's doing anything for you? I don't know what that is. If you can't tell you're in combat, something's wrong. As a tank, if you can't tell you're in combat, something is dramatically wrong. But yeah, this fight's pretty straightforward. Just want to make sure if you feel like you're having trouble, you could approach it one of 2 ways. You could either try to use rune tap for everyone, which is probably not ideal, but it's kind of what I've resorted to at times because it just does a ton of damage. Or the other option is just doubled, like Death Strike before and Death Strike right after. You could actually Death Strike, if you time it, you could Death Strike before you get knocked out of range, which is interesting. And running that direction, I don't think is in anybody's benefit. I will say that. Well, you drop D&D and you move the mob out of it. Interesting. I don't think that's a problem, but not ideal. I guess he might still be in it. Anyway, I always run the opposite direction on that boss. And it's for the reason, just so like if anybody accidentally kind of derps through orbs, they don't hit yours too. So what I do is I drop mine against the fence and then it's immediately hit by myself. So that's just out. Like we immediately are done with that one. So nobody, you don't have to worry about somebody else hitting it later or somebody else not doing it right. But yeah, I wouldn't do this if I were you, especially as the tank, because it's also moving the boss back towards them, right? You taking that direction, it's not doing anybody any favors, honestly. I wouldn't. I would go the opposite direction, or almost not move at all. Like that's a perfectly fine option too. Okay, so we have not pulling. Oh yeah, we're not even pulling that pack, and again with the D&D there. Yeah, so that's a definite no-no, right? Like you're not even going to use that D&D now. That's a really bad that is a huge waste of death and decay there, 100%. So I definitely would recommend not doing that. In the first case, you have you've actually walked into your own D&D at that point. The problem is, but the real problem here is like the mobs are going to run out of the D&D if you let them. You know what I mean? So if you're going to use that like 20 yards early, the chance that they're all still in it by the time you engage is like pretty low. I feel like so. Okay, so it's a little bit more. It's definitely not the route I've done. Let's see how it plays out. I think this is like the Duratnos route, like the route that the stock somebody else told me how to do this route. Chain pulling into the gargoyle. Interesting decision. Would not. Well, I mean, it doesn't really hurt you. Oh, what are you doing? You turning the guy at the last second. Yeah, definitely don't do that. You're lucky that nobody got hit there. Huge error. Good interrupts. Looks like, yeah, that Weakor is tracking your CD twice. Do you want that? Is there a reason you want that? If so, that's good. But if I don't know, if you need help, let me know. I could probably help you with that. Would you actually dodge that? Wait, hold on a second. Is that why you moved it at the last second? That's interesting. What, you just move out of it? Never seen this before. First time for me. It's like it just missed you though, because you didn't even really get away from them or anything. I've seen people blink away and shit, like they could drop it for a variety in a variety of cases, but that did not seem like you did what you wanted to do there. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, see that whole like in combat thing, it's like blocking the health bars and stuff. I would definitely get rid of that. I don't know. If you feel like it's helping you, I'd be interested in how. Okay, so anyway, here this pack here, you definitely want to tank it against a corner. Like just get it in this kind of right by that fire thing, kind of right here. Just get it in there, and then you'll have the ability to line of sight. You could AMS, of course, but you want to let others line of sight, especially on Fortified Week. This is crucial. So don't you're kind of screwing over the rest of your group here. Realistically, they're not going to do it anyway, but you got to give them the option. So you just stand kind of right by this bench here, and then you could quickly dip around the corner here and line of sight. And you could do it too. So when a second one goes out, which is happening right now, yeah, you don't actually even try to get out of that. So that's a lot of damage taken. Luckily, the mob is almost dead. But one of your damage dealers is dead, I guess. It's hard to actually tell because the bars are kind of off the screen there. But yeah, I think that's the case. So I would say probably make sure you let them line of sight. That guy's running back now. Okay. And again, so it's just a complete waste of a D&D there. That's interesting. So you do that all the time. That wasn't just some one-off thing. I'll hear your thoughts on it. I don't think there's any thoughts on it, honestly. Like I guess is the play you want to like establish a small like a modicum of threat or something like that. I don't know. I would just grip them in and let them come, and that's that. But yeah, again, don't think he's in the right spot. Like he's kind of right on the angle. Kind of needs to be like right here, so then you could dip around the corner and line of sight. So now we're gonna leave combat, which is really good, and then we're gonna go in this room here. Yeah, this is the stock. Let's do this route. Okay, I don't know much about these mobs, but yeah, apparently if you keep them by the wall here, you can actually get this jar. Somebody said they moved this jar now in 905. I don't actually know that. Oh, that's a curious. Why are you not standing in that ability? So you put AMZ down 1 yard to your right, basically, and then you didn't stand in it. So yeah, I would definitely. If you're gonna drop AMZ in this situation, you could hit all 5 people by just putting it right on top of the pack. There's no reason not to. Prideful is the only time you want to move that in certain spots because people can't really move freely. Yeah, I feel like you have to be aware of that. So we got Pride here. Bunch of busting stacks, but no problem. This is, and it's certainly you both now. Obviously, I'm not going to blame you for the other guy's mistake, but you kind of baited him into it, right? Like you put a CD down on a pack that has no real danger to it, from what I could tell, and it doesn't bust either. I don't know if you know that that pack does not have busting or any interaction like that, bolstering, etc. So now neither of you have the strongest defensive CD in the game for this mob. So suboptimal. Okay, so what are we doing here? Oh, we're fighting it. Okay, this is interesting. I've been double pulling here, but Fortified Weak definitely probably wouldn't do it. I mean, it depends on the key level, but if you have Pride here, like, it's a solid option. It's not a bad idea at all. These mobs actually aren't that dangerous. The main thing is that this Overseer has to be dealt with, so it's actually easier to do it. This is part of why I started doing that, because it's actually easier to line a sight if you take them into this room. Then people can just run around this little doorway here. But yeah, probably wouldn't do that. So I see you're using the Trinket. I have not gotten any Trinkets from Raid yet. Literally, the only one I've gotten is Stone Legion General Trinket. That's actually it. But you're using the Trinket from Hungering Destroyer, Devourer, or I don't know what he's called. How do you feel like it's working? I'd be interested in your thoughts on this. It's pulsing AoE. I worry that it might pull something, but it's probably pretty unlikely. Between that and Super Strain, you have the pull potential. Certainly. Yeah, this mob's not too bad. What you can do, another one is you could use Death's Advance to prevent a knockback here. You might have done it, actually. I never saw you get knocked back. Let's watch this pull again. Death's Advance. Where is it on your bars? Having trouble seeing it. Not seeing it anywhere. Where is it? I see it. Oh, you use it to like engage the back. Okay, so won't have that up. But yeah, you could do the same thing like I said on the boss. You can just Death Strike. Or you maybe parry it or something. Rune Weapon's up. Definitely don't want to sit on a Rune Weapon like this. Let's see back to when the last time you used Rune Weapon was. I feel like it's been a very long time. And this is what I'm talking about. People ask, oh my god, is this serious? What? People ask about this all the time. What's my biggest tip I can give to a new Blood DK? And I never know how to answer this, but if there's one answer I have, it's do not sit on your CDs as a Blood DK. It's just, they're just too strong. Like, it's like you're sitting there and not doing anything with this spell that's going to dramatically improve your both offense and defense. You know what I mean? And that's certainly why this new legendary is so good, because this is such a dynamic CD. Yeah, to not use... Okay, this is crazy. We have some conflicting things happening here, my man. It's a bit odd. So we're going Super Strain on a Fortified Week, which, I know everybody else does it. I'm one of the oddballs. But then to not be using Rune Weapon for this long, it's like you're giving up the value. Like, you know what I mean? You're kind of caught between two mindsets, I feel like. Yeah, you've not used to... I mean, how long is this? It comes back up at 36:03. Wow, I mean, we're 3-4 minutes away already, and it's not even... You've missed at least one whole use of it, right? At least. Hold on, we're talking about 2 whole uses. Yeah, this is really... We're way past this in the footage. Oh yeah, we're six some minutes away already now. 7 minutes now. Oh wow, man. Oh man. Okay, so Dancing Rune Weapon. You want advice? This is it. Do not ever sit on this CD. It is far too useful to be sitting on it. I'd love to hear your thought process. What leads you to saving this CD so often? So heavily? I mean, yeah, we're 8 minutes away from your last option to use it. Say you've lost at least 2 uses of it. Be interested to see when it happens again, but anyway, you could use it on this pack and potentially parry a very dangerous ability if you want. Was why I brought it up in the first place. Otherwise, yeah, it's just a relatively bad... The knockback is worse than it looks, because if the other mobs are still attacking you, and you can't Death Strike quickly, then you'll probably be in some trouble here by the time you reset your positioning. Okay, so these next few packs are at 51%. What are we going to do count-wise? This is going to be over, I think, definitely. So we're not going to have count for the second boss. We're going to have pride for the second boss, that is. Crushing Strike, another really hard-hitting spell. Yeah, definitely want to be timing a Death Strike there. And I do feel like you're sitting on a lot of runic power. To be like above 99 runic power right now with all of these CDs up. See, I don't know. I do feel like a strong criticism of my gameplay would be that I use runic power too often, and then I find myself in this bind. But look at how much you're wasting here, you know? Hold on, let's take a look at this swarming mist, it's called, right? Let's take a look at this swarming mist usage. So you're going to use it at, oh, wow. Yeah, let's see. 70, 80. Okay, so you've used it at 80 some runic power. And it's going to generate, what, like 100 and some over the course of 8 seconds? So at this point, it would be just Death Strike all day, right? Like, you're relying on that dodge percent, and you're certainly taking damage, so I don't know what we're saving it for. I do like that little weak core on the Death Strike, though. That's interesting. I don't think I can get used to that. I like the one I have because it shows how far my health... You said you don't actually have your health bar. Your health bar is in a very... Do you like that there? That's very far away from the center of your screen. I feel like the health bar of a tank needs to be dead center of the screen. That's why my weak ores are completely like... My health bar would be right here and the weak ores would be around it. That's a lot of the reason why people insult my UI, actually. It's because they've never really seen anybody do that. Most people have them on the sides. But I'm like, nah, my health bar is my resource. Like, that's number one. The most important resource I have is my health pool. So seeing that without having to look away from the combat is not optional, if you ask me. Sitting on the Crimson Rune proc a lot here. I do this too, no doubt. It's not the easiest thing to do, but yeah, definitely. You're using the talent, whatever the talent's called. Can't remember, but it's a talent that every time it procs, you get stuff for it. So you definitely want to be using that as often as you possibly can with that talent. It's one thing to sit on it when you're a Night Fae. You know what I mean? When every death and decay is hugely valuable, but your death and decay is basically just another resource on this with this build. So yeah, don't want to sit on that, and do not want to sit on Rune Weapon. Have we still not used Rune Weapon this whole time? We are now, what, 10, 11 minutes away from the last Rune Weapon usage. God, this is... Okay, you use it at some point. Let's see that happen. Man, that's... Love to hear your thoughts. Let's put it that way. Oh, somebody trapped that for you. Oh, God, you're getting small. Yeah, now I'm going to tell you, this is a funny little way to die, honestly. Let's take a look at what happened. He's obviously getting hit hard regardless. But he dies because his attention is split. And this is the life of a tank right here. This is why I'll never accept anybody disrespecting the tank role as a DPS, especially these frost mages. So you see that? He's looking over there because he recognizes that it's a position that might be precarious. These mobs might aggro, we might have some problems. And as he does, his attention is split just enough so he's not ready to react to this, and he dies to it. Although he's very low regardless. Let's see that play out one more time here. Yeah, oh, you're fucking super low. 28% health, so... No, 21% health, I think. So you're probably dying anyway, regardless, I think, at this point. That bleed is crushing you. But no go. We get that quick battle res, though, from the DK with the infinitely better name. Although his name isn't much better. It's something even dumber. It's like Benchmark or Benchmade or something like that. Yes, Benchmade. It's like, what the fuck? Not much better, honestly. Okay, so we got Pride here. This is definitely not where you want Pride. If you're going to do this route where you skip that opening stuff, I don't think you should do this. I guess it's just like you're trying to do something that doesn't have an invis pop, but you pulled like 2 optional packs here. You recognize that? You've pulled 2 optional packs up to this point, and now you're getting Pride for... I mean... I don't know. This is a fine time to get Pride, but I'm interested in seeing where the rest of the Prides come now. I don't know. So that mob is not the patrol? I don't know why that one was trapped. What was the value there? Can't really... That was not the patrol. Or no, that was the patrol. Yeah. Or was it? I don't know. I'm all disoriented. So we used Rune Weapon at some point. When was that? Let's see. Oh, you open with it on the Pride. Curious. So what value do you think? It's a time to use it. I don't know. Pride is definitely not. So prior to Crimson or whatever, yeah, Crimson Rune, there's a couple times I would never use it. And that's one, I would never use it on the Pride. That's one for sure. And 2, I would never use it on a pack preceding a pack that I think I'm going to die on. And that's 2. That's 1 and 2 coming up here. I assume you're going to pull big here. I mean, if not, why even bother with the pride at this point? Well, maybe you don't. Nah, it looks like you don't, yeah. Okay, well, you're kind of combining them. Not really. Gripped the wrong one there, that's for sure. The small ones don't really matter, though. It's whatever. These packs kind of suck, man. But yeah, I guess you're trying to get them into the jar here. It's not really going to happen. This jar is just really hard to get value out of because these mobs drop this big red puddle. Kind of need to sit on your strangulate there to stop it. Otherwise, you're probably not going to ever get full value out of this jar. It was a good work, though. It's a good work there. Interrupting that like that. Growing mistrust. Getting off this time. Oh, the warrior coming in, though. People are ready for it. That's good. They're way better than what I see. Okay, so gargoyle. Let's see. Nope. So again, the D&D pull, but no problem. That was pretty close. There's the wild spirits down. So you're kind of letting mobs get behind you, too. So that's another reason why I think it's always, there's almost like this inertia to mobs in this game, I feel like. If you're going to let them move, you got to let them move forward. That's the way I always look at it. So it's very important to kind of stay stationary otherwise. So dropping D&D starts their movement. And that, you know, that's another thing. Like, it's not really like a measurable thing, but I think it does do something to this game, honestly. When mobs move, they seem to not want to stop moving. It's weird. It's very strange. I see like mobs, like if I somehow like stealthed up to them, they would just stand still. But when you pull them, oh yeah, you got the gargoyle earlier. But when you pull them that way, they kind of run and then they kind of like spread out once they get to you. So that's curious. Wait, hold on a second. Did you AMS that? Standing in the curse. I don't see AMS on the screen. I don't even know where it is. Oh, there it is. No, you did not. So you just willingly ate the curse. Okay. Would not recommend that. But I guess if there was one time to get hit by it, it would be the pull. So yeah, also using Swarming Mist on the pull. I would definitely save that. This is basically an ad fight. It's weird to say, but this, like, if you're going to try to do anything, you're going to want to do it during the ad's life. So all CDs, honestly, not even just offense, but all CDs. If you need a CD, it's going to be during that time because you're going to be taking a ton of magic damage. The healer is going to be quite taxed because other shit going on. So that's the time. But again, did not use Dancing Room Open yet again. So I think we're seeing something more than an error. I think this is a trend. There it is now. So again, very poor usage of it. You want to use that when an ad comes out. Only when an ad comes out. So if you're not going to use it on the poll to maximize like a pot or something like that, certainly do not use it in the middle of the fight like that. By the time you get it out, by the time this ad is out, it's ending. So you could have had it up for the entire duration of this ad, would have dramatically improved your DPS to this ad. And that's something you got to think about, you know what I mean? Now here, I think you're letting them die a little bit too far apart. Yeah, that's a large gap in between the 3 spots. And this doesn't seem like a problem, but it's a small DPS loss, right? To have to move further and further every time. And on higher keys, on Tyrannical Week, you definitely cannot do this. So this is a bad habit. It won't hurt you today on this recording, but it will hurt you later if you do continue to progress and you do this key on higher weeks. That is not a viable strategy because you're going to end up having moved so far that you'll be on the other side of the room now and there'll be trash there. I've actually had that happen to me where I did a very poor job of moving these mechanics. And yeah, they ended up really hurting me. I don't see all your CDs, but I'll tell you what, Dancing Rune Weapon, AMZ has to be used here, 100%. Okay, I think, was it you or him who did it? AMZ has to be used here. So I don't know where it is. Maybe, okay, I see it. It's on the bottom left. Yeah, so it was not you. So this is going to be an AMZ for sure. You have to use it here. It's far too much magic. Almost everything the fight does is magic. So like literally you could, what I've been doing is just AMZing somebody who looks like they're not going to survive this, whatever this mechanic is called, Castigate. That would be where I would put, or you could even just put it down for yourself. Like put it out when an ad comes out, you know what I mean? But yeah, so not using AMZ there, that's a huge defensive factor you've left on the table. And again, you have to treat, especially with a monk, you have to treat defense as speed. Because the more comfortable your health pool is, the less the healer has to heal you. Typically, I would say the more damage the healer can do, but in this case, the less mana the healer has to use, and that is a big deal, on like a huge deal actually, with the Mistweaver, I'd imagine. So, yeah, much better D&D there. Yeah, that's much closer to what I want to see from D&D. So little squirrely pull here. That's a dangerous pull. I'm going to tell you what. I've had that happen where I think I grip it, but it gets gripped through the boss and it aggroes the boss. So I would not recommend doing. I know this looks like the better play because it's 2 casters and 1 of the small dudes. And ideally it would be the play, but gripping her across the room like that, I don't know. It's probably just bad luck or bad play on my part. But I have definitely regretted doing that. Let's put it that way. This pack is much easier to deal with. Even though it's 3 casters, they're not really that big of a deal. So that guy releasing is the only option, I guess. Yeah, you don't really. Oh, you're going without him. Very interesting on busting week. I'm sure by the time he gets down here, you'll be fine. But you better make sure interrupts are going out, which they are. All interrupts used now. So let's see if you do some shenanigans with grips and stuff. But yeah, these casts are definitely not the biggest deal, but when you have no healer, probably want to be a little bit more cautious. Healer's on his way, but it's a far run. You'd be surprised. So you gripped a little early there. It's good effort though. That's good effort. You've tried and you've done fair enough. At that point, it's the rest of the group's job. Hunter and other players could be doing stuff too. So it's good effort at least. All right, so this boss will be interesting. I would have liked to see him maybe on a Tyrannical more, but this poor healer, my God, man, freaking never has mana. Mistweaver just sucks, huh? Hard to respect. I feel like they're probably the worst spec in the game right now for 5-mans. Okay, so Iron Spikes. So it looks like we have Rune Tap up. Yeah. So we got Rune Tap up a little early. Let's see that again. Okay. Yeah, you looks like you used it before it started it, so that's certainly not what you want to do with this. If you're going to use Rune Tap for this, which is a fine idea, you'll want to use it either as it starts or after it starts, because otherwise you're not going to get the full, you're going to waste part of Rune Tap. You're only going to mitigate 2 of the few hits. Oh, but you don't even really need to. Honestly, on non-tyrannical, just pull. I mean, you have 125 runic power, right? You don't even need to use Rune Tap there. A small suboptimal moment, but see that 46% death strike there. So that's all you needed. So yeah, really don't use a lot of runic power. It's interesting. I'm the opposite. I'm the complete opposite. I overuse it. It's my top damage for a reason. But it's not advisable at times. If you're not sure you're going to survive, you should pool runic power. It's better to have it and not use it than use it and then not have it. Okay, so this time we have Icebound up, so that's good. 1 CD for each is fine. I mean, I don't know. Don't necessarily. Okay, I want to see how you handled the other part, though. Let's see this all again. All right, so we have losing threat. What was that? Somebody pulled threat? Honor doing 10k pulled threat. You're doing 1k. Interesting. I always open with taunt, by the way. Did we do that? Let's see this. Let's start all over here. This is an important fight. So where's your taunt? I don't. Oh yeah, 60 or 6 or something. Always open with taunt. On a boss, you should always first action should always be taunt, because you have extra damage done or extra threat done while a taunt window is up, and that is going to establish a much higher threat parameter. You will never lose threat if you do that on a boss, unless you then don't do any damage. So, okay, so we AMS'd. I think you were late though. No, it looks like you were right. Just on the money. I'll tell you what, that giant circle on the mouse is kind of crazy. But yeah, AMSing there prevents the bleed or whatever it is, the dot afterwards. So that's a very good idea. And you can only ever do it once every other. So I'd usually probably use on a fortify week, I'd probably do the defensive afterwards. I feel like it would stress the healer out more than just this ability. This ability is just literally just death strike twice. I'm not great at it either, but you want to try to get better at that. That's a good place to improve. Oh yeah, look to the right here. It shows the dots. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't like. What's the value of running out and getting that? I don't know. You're just wasting a lot of downtime. You're adding a lot of downtime. Doesn't really seem valuable. Another rune tap. This one's definitely better. Yeah, actually got the entire rune tap in that time. And again, just kind of sitting on D&D quite a lot. So I would say immediately, again, rune weapon, the whole encounter has not been used. You could have easily used it for any of these abilities and it would dramatically improve your chances. It's just a lot of damage you're leaving on the table too. That's what I'm saying about, you know, like look at this. You're doing 1.6k DPS. Do you find like that's an issue? Like, I mean, with Super Strain, 1.6k DPS, and that's because you're not using Death Strike very often at all. You basically never use Dancing Rune Weapon, and maybe it's just this VOD or something. I don't know, but this is a lot of offense you're leaving off the table, and you're really in no danger here, right? I mean, for most of the dungeon, it's been pretty smooth. Certainly bosses, right? It's been very smooth, so that's not good. You know what I mean? Blood DK's big issue right now is offense, and let's put it this way. If I was on my Paladin, I would probably be doing more damage than you. And that's not necessarily uncommon, but I don't know. What's your... I don't actually know your eye level either. Let's see. Can we see that on here? It's probably changed. Where's that? Up here. 219. So you're pretty geared. Your weapon is 220. Mythic 11. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I guess that's fine. That's a great item, obviously. Some pieces that you could definitely get some Valor and upgrade. Hopefully you'll do that. Gear's not bad at all, really. Well, that's the new one, yeah. Can we see what eye level the old one was? Yeah, 225 only, it says. Interesting. So what's the thought process here you're using? The thing about Super Strain is that is actually very good, is having a chest legendary is actually very powerful. It gives a lot of value, so it's not that bad just for that reason alone. But you definitely got to get 235. Okay, so this pack here is gonna give pride, I guess. Yes. I guess so it's almost like you're back on my normal route. It's very strange. Oh, actually. Uh-oh. Oh, actually. Oh, no-shally. Oh, okay. Whew, I was a little worried. It's a little different than what I do, so I wasn't sure. So I always make sure you're using the shield here, by the way. Doesn't look like you used it once. This shield is like a 60% damage reduction. Yeah, you can use this 3 or 4 times here. It's very short CD too, so you can throw the shield down and then go soak those traps too, like you did earlier in the dungeon. But it's kind of blocking your weak auras too. That's not great. I guess it's not really blocking important weak auras. You probably moved it there on purpose because it looks very centered. But yeah, definitely use this for the pride. Hopefully you will. And let's see what else happens. I'd say your Vamp Blood usage is fine. It's quite good. It doesn't look like you're wasting a lot of time on it. But definitely a rune weapon. Not great. Kind of feels like you're relatively unaware of like the Red Thirst proc or whatever what's it called? Crimson Scourge. Crimson Scourge proc. Like, yeah, you've basically sat on that the entire duration of the proc. That's really bad. Like, you're taking a talent that buffs it and you're not using it. You use it right at the end there. So, I don't know. I'd be interested to hear your thought process on some of this. I split them up. Apparently, right now, 905, you cannot do that. So, you shouldn't really want to do that on... You have pride. Like, why bother, you know? Why would you not pull it all? There's not... Oh... There's not really a better time to do it. Like, pride is, you know, the most powerful thing you're going to get. So, definitely would recommend doing that. It's a little more hectic, but as a tank, you're kind of in control. So, it's a good thing, right? Tank being in control. Good work on those echoing thrusts, though. That's impressive. That's something that a lot of people don't recognize, I feel like. But yeah, you've now gone the entire duration of this hallway without using both Dancing Rune Weapon or the shield thing, and that is a nuts damage reduction. Like, it's not just for that one mechanic, you know what I mean? That's like the main place you'll use it, but you can actually use it on the pack too, coming up on the first pack. If you drop it on the pull, it will be back up for like the first set of mechanics. It's going to be tight though, so you better make sure you know what you're doing with it, because if you miss it, the group's going to be mad. I never do it because I don't feel like it's worth it. But if I was in a set group, I would do it because I would then pull the second pack in as well. So I would double pull out of the gate, get the shield down for the free damage reduction, And wait mana. The guys are like full mana. Yeah. So anyway, gonna go into this pretty low. It looks like this guy's struggling to keep up, but just gonna get the 2 dogs for now, no problem. Nah. So anyway, yeah, if you dropped it here, it would have been back up for the first time she cast the ability, and then I would probably grip in the rest of those mobs. So you could usually everybody's gonna have. Although I don't know with the pride there, maybe not, but usually this first pack is gonna get blown up, but not always, I guess. So definitely always want to target the boss. You know, the damage that you do on the rest of the mobs is very not needed, like whatever you would say there. Any auto attacks should go to the boss here because this is going to take a really long time to get her out. Get her moving on. It's just such a time lot. Look at this. Ah, it's just so, I mean, you're basically sitting here just attacking a single mob on a fortified week. You know, it's not great. Definitely would recommend pulling the next pack in at this point. Definitely. There's no reason to sit here and do this alone. These people are getting destroyed, though, this healer. He's doing a lot of HPS, but it just doesn't seem like it's enough. The warrior commanding shout, though. What is that blue shield? It looks like Blessing of Salvation or whatever it used to be. Blessing of Sanctuary. What is that? Some trinket? Or maybe it's a monk spell. Never heard of that. Wow, dead. And again, boss isn't even present in that pack, so if you're not going to double pull it there, you definitely want to go ahead and throw it on that shield. First wipe, though, right? That's pretty... Well, it probably isn't even a wipe. First big mistake, I would say. Let's put it that way. How do you feel Troll DK as well? You hit the haste buff. Do you use it often? I don't even... Oh, it's on CD, so... It's that kind of thing I would just macro to something else, but it's a 3... Is it actually a 3-minute CD? I don't know how noticeable it is. It's probably pretty good, though, as Blood DK. How much haste does it actually give? I don't even know. I really like Troll, but not necessarily as a plate Troll. Gotta make sure we get the shield again. Again, all this trash. You should be using this shield. It's very. I think it's like a 30-second CD. Pretty sure it's like 60% damage reduction. Just make sure if you're gonna use it on a pack with the boss in it, you use it the second you pull it, and that's it. And again, a lot of mobs kind of getting behind you here, so not ideal. You cannot dodge or block or parry or whatever. Not block, but you cannot parry mobs behind you. So that's suboptimal. Actually, did we have an argument about this? I feel like we did. I'm 99% sure you cannot parry a mob hitting you from behind, but somebody was... Oh, no, you know, the argument was about bear. I said that bear can do it, and people were saying that they cannot. So, anyway. But yeah, so there's the Gloom Squall. Good to use the ability. That's pretty good. You can also AMZ this. This is a lot of shadow damage. So that would be another thing I would recommend is getting that weak ore. You can put it right here, actually. It would fit pretty well right here. You can make the bars smaller, too, if you want to make them like the same size as this. Yeah, you can put them right here. Plenty of space here. But yeah, knowing what type of damage you're taking and how much of it is really, really important for Blood DK. I don't know how anybody would play without that, actually. That was like one of the main things that stopped me from wanting to play Blood DK in the first place. I'd played it so much in Mop and Wad challenge modes, and I was like, oh, this is brutal, man. You need to know when you're doing physical reduction, when you're doing magic reduction, and I couldn't figure it out. I was looking for add-ons to solve it, and I stumbled across that weak ore, and the rest is history. Now I don't think I could play without it. Like, legitimately, I don't think I could. Just too important. To know exactly what's hitting you, you know, what type. Because, like, the way you answer it is very different. Like, you know, if you're going to fight a pack that has 6 casters on it, Swarming Mist is not going to help you at all, right? You can't dodge spells. So, yeah. But yeah, I think we've gone really, really long without AMZ as well. These mobs, even just with busting, AMZ with busting is very nice. Let's see when the last rune weapon usage was. It did look like you used it. Not when you died, though. Oh, don't tell me you're going to use it right. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, so you use it right now when there's 2 mobs and the boss at 81%. Work on that. I would say that your Crimson Rune, Crimson Scourge usage, whatever the fuck it's called. The proc for D&D, you have a talent that buffs it, and you're almost never I feel like almost never using it. And then just work on using runic power better. Like, playing as Ventir is like such a luxury, right? Like, you have a ton of runic power constantly. So to not use it is just wasting it, really. You're wasting a lot of damage, too, which is the big thing. I know not everybody cares about that, but I mean, you are using a legendary that's basically damage first, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that guy died. Good res there, good res. Hard to tell, actually. Yeah, like on that pack, I don't know if is that overall, maybe? Can't be overall. It's going to be tough to maximize your offense if you're not using Rune Weapon, Crimson Scourge procs, or whatever they're called, or Death Strike. Too much damage lost there. But yeah, like sitting on Death Strike, you really only want to do that. Like there's been a couple of key examples over the years. Probably the best one right now is in Mists. The opening packs in Mists, those dudes who do like the Soul Cleave, I think it's called. That is time. You would sit on that all day and just get 3 death strikes in there. You know what I'm saying? Can we invis last room? Or not enough? I don't think there's enough to do that, yeah. Let's see what he says. Not enough. Good. Okay, good opening a rune weapon. Again, use the shield. Don't forget about the shield. Could have used it twice probably on this pack, if not 3 times, depending on how long it takes. The problem with it is I always drop it and then I have to move out of it, but yeah, if you just use it on the pull, it's pretty good. I guess you legitimately don't know that it does anything. So I'm glad that I was able to review Sanguine Depths for you because that's going to be huge, honestly. Coming down to the home stretch. It looks like an easy upgrade, though. You got this in the bag. Pretty impressive. Taking a look at the keys. Nothing stands out, but you've done, some good keys for sure. It's impressive work to be upgrading this. I don't know exactly what I guess like the DPS is very high or something, but yeah, I don't think I would run in there like that. If you're going to pull them out of the room, I think you want to just get them. The only problem is this door is not real. Like it's like a fake wall here. The mobs can attack you through it. So if I was better about it, I would probably grip the far Huntsmaster or whatever it's called. And that would probably be enough to get them out in one clump. But usually the right Huntsmaster is often not going to come through. It's just going to shoot you through the wall. So either fight it in the room, which I did originally. I think it's probably better to fight it in the room. You have more space, and then you have less time for the pride to run into the thing. But wait, did you actually just use the shield? What the hell? Oh, wow. Okay. So it's just like the dancing rune weapon treatment, huh? You only use it when you absolutely have to or something? Interesting. That's curious. Okay, but anyway, we get the pride here. Go boss. Probably not much to look at on this fight, but let's wrap it up. Boss starts at 70, so that's really good. No, I'm just kidding. Another one that you could actually use the shield on the pole, but again, it's very tight. Probably just not worth it, but it does work. Piercing blur. Not much you could do interaction-wise. Yeah, there's really nothing going on here. The damage, the knockback thing is actually magic. So again, you can AMZ that. Let's AMZ's off. Not available currently. But KMS it as well. Free runic power that you could potentially use on nothing. But yeah, I think we've said everything we're going to say here. So yeah, main takeaways. Got to start monitoring Dancing Rune Weapon better. Oh, you've used it here on the boss. Let's see, just randomly for offense. You've used it on the boss. Like it seems like very inconsistent. I don't know. I'd love to hear your thought process. It's hard for me to comment on all this without hearing your thought process. So tell me how you typically use Dancing Rune Weapon. Tell me how you typically use AMZ, typically use AMS. What do you think about your uptime on these spells? Tell me if there's any reason that you're hanging on to the Crimson Scourge procs. You can't have another proc while the current proc is up, obviously, right? So that talent is just wasted. It's like a huge loss to take that talent and then not be using this like this. Sometimes I do it because I'm trying to maximize my deaths do stacks, but listen, if you were doing the same thing and you were playing Night Fae, you would be the worst Night Fae. You know what I'm saying? So, good thing you're Venter. But no, yeah. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. Probably just switch away from. I'll just probably just switch away from this talent at this point. You don't seem to be getting like you literally went that whole, pretty much that whole. Look at how long it lasts. Right? It actually does refresh. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was even possible. So just like not really using D&D. Which, provided you have Heartbreaker, which I imagine you do, it's pretty good to have Death and Decay down. But that's just free running power, which again you're not really using. So yeah, wow, it can actually proc on top of itself. I had no idea that was possible. Okay, so maybe it's less bad than I thought. It just refreshes its own. Wow, yeah, it does it a lot actually. That's 3 times in a row. That's it. Wait, maybe you're onto something here. Maybe I'm wrong about this. See, I've never really used this talent. I think I might be actually wrong about this. I think it can't proc when it's down. Is that how it works? Yeah, I think that's how it works. So maybe this is the right play. With that talent is literally don't even use the spell. Huh, interesting stuff. Let me know. I've never used the talent and I've not, I've only played Night Fae, so let me know. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that you guys will help as well. Throw some advice in, but yeah, main thing is just probably monitor C is a little bit better. Be a little bit more generous, right? Because again, especially with a Mistweaver, this is really an ideal key for this. You got a Mistweaver. You're wasting his mana. Don't waste his mana. That's time lost on the key, and it's definitely going to hurt you at some point. So hope it helps. Let me know.